Yeah, morning. It's me again for you. Yeah, and yes, the weather is a bit better today. It's no rain, and I just did a 5K run right there, easy in the park. And today, I want to talk about a very important topic, and I think this is at the root of everything when you want to achieve any type of greatness in your life. And this topic is called self-worth. So, usually you observe around, and you see some people just don't have the self-worth that's required to achieve anything in life. Like, they have a low self-worth basically. And I think a low self-worth is like the silent killer of any dream, because if you look around, like, if you don't even believe that something is possible, then basically you're not even going to fathom that thing. It's not even going to be in the realm of your imagination, right? Because and this self-worth problem, like the low self-worth problem, is not just at the individual problem. I see it at the individual level and also at the community level. And what do I mean by that? Like, let's take for example the Afro community, which I'm very familiar with, right? And let's say you look at this country, some of these countries like the US, or even in like France, or even in Africa, like South Africa and all these places. Like you look around and you see like the Afro community, when they are mixed with other communities, like they never achieve anything. Usually it's not like they never, like usually it's very hard to see them achieve anything great. And if you think about it, usually it's not because they are not smart, they are not skilled. It's not because of that. It's not because of any of that. Usually because they don't even believe that they can achieve anything. They don't even believe and aspire to certain things, because usually they don't have any role model who they can aspire to. They don't have the community in which they grew up doesn't do any of those things. Or let me take an example to really illustrate this point. Let's say you are born in a community or in a country where nobody that looks like you has ever become the president of the country. So automatically you're going to be like, well, people like me don't become president, right? And you look around, and people that are termed successful in your community are usually like rappers, maybe footballers, or maybe so also your environment is also a big part of that. So you look around your environment and the community in which you grew up, or the people that you emulate, or the people that look like you, they're usually maybe rappers. The successful ones, by the way, are usually the rappers, or maybe the footballers or the athletes. And let's say you are a kid and you're looking to achieve anything in your life, you're looking to be extraordinary, right? You're going to think like, well, if I want to be extraordinary, I can only aspire to become a rapper or a footballer or an athlete or a comedian or an entertainer. So you're going to only aspire to those things. However, if a role model comes around that looks like you and he becomes the president of the republic, you're going to be like, oh, that is possible. I never even thought about that. That's why I think Obama, the reason why when he became president, he didn't just become president for a country or for he also inspired a whole culture, a whole community, a whole people, right? To just believe in themselves. So I think self-worth, like a low self-worth, is one of those silent things that if you don't even solve in the beginning, you're not gonna achieve anything in your life. And that's something that, in my opinion, is the silent killer of any dream, if you think about it. And how do you elevate your self-worth? So because I'm talking about the problem of low self-worth, but how do you actually solve that? So usually the way to solve or to elevate your self-worth is to transcend good and evil, which means that like there's no binary, there's no good or bad. Anything that you do is usually has benefit and drawbacks, Another thing is to transcend authority, transcend every authority in your life. Like, if you think about what you learned, the people you learned from, like your father, your mother, your preacher, your teacher, your pastor, your imam, all these things, right? All these authorities in your life, all the people in your life who serve as an authority in your life, if you don't transcend above them, you're going to be forever. You're going to put them forever on a pedestal, and they're going to rule your life. They're going to tell you you're a bad boy, you're a sinner, you are you could do better, and all this. Basically, they transcend they project their own values onto you, and if you take that in, you're always going to feel like you don't deserve to be anything. Transcend. Don't let anything, any comment get to you, whether it's good or bad. And sometimes you also see this in positive comments where someone as a kid, they were always told that they are the most beautiful people in the world. They were always told like they are the most attractive person, they are the most smart person. And when they grow up, they believe that, they think that, like, they become too elated also. Like they become, they think that, they have a very high ego. So self-worth is not just at the low end, it's also at the high end. If you have a very high self-worth, which is like above the point of neutrality, you're also not going to be, you're going to have a very high self-esteem, which is above the point of neutral, right? So you want to be in the middle. You want to know that you can achieve anything. Anything is possible. Like, there's nothing that you can achieve as long as you have the resources and the energy and the ability to do those things. Just believe that you can do it, but don't be too elated either, or be very low self-worth either. And another thing that you can do to elevate your self-worth is to basically to be very poised, basically to be neutral, not to be elated by anything or be judged or be disappointed by anything. Yeah, so this was self-worth, guys. Like, I think self-worth, man, is one of the biggest killer of any dream. And you're going to see some people and also self-worth doesn't mean confidence, right? Self-worth doesn't mean confidence. Like, you're going to see some people, they seem very confident, and they might play the part. You might see them, in the party, they are very confident, and you might think that they have a high self-worth, but that's actually not true, because some people, they have very deep rooted things in them, like usually memories of the past, when they were kids, the things that they heard, some things hurt them when they were kids, and it really affects their internal belief and self-worth of themselves, right? So yeah, I believe that if you rise and elevate your self-worth, you can achieve anything you want in life. And with that being said, let's go get it. Take care.